If you're looking for the best stretch resolution in Fortnite to boost your FPS and make your game feel amazing, well, you're in the right place, and let's get right into it. I'm going to be covering 3 different stretch resolutions in this video: 1750 by 1080, 1680 by 1050, and finally 1656 by 1080. I'll be showcasing how each resolution looks in game, build around with each resolution, and finally finish off with a 1v1 on each res. I'll also show you how much of a difference it makes in my FPS, and finally I'll give my personal opinion on which one feels and looks the best. The reason I chose these 3 resolutions in particular is because of a tweet I've showcased in a previous video. This guy took it upon himself to apply different stretch resolutions to compare what FPS boost you can expect from each resolution. The goal for today's video is to 1. Find a stretched resolution that doesn't look horrible, and 2. Find a stretched resolution that provides a significant FPS boost. We need to find a resolution that gives a good FPS boost but also maintains a playable experience. And in order to do that, we first need to take note of my FPS on native res. So currently at 1920 by 1080, I'm getting roughly 350 FPS standing still, so we're going to be comparing each resolution to this FPS to see how much more FPS each stretch resolution is going to give us. So with this in mind, let's get right into our first resolution, 1750 by 1080. Now the first thing you'll notice is that this is a nice stretched res. You can see the game really well, and the resolution doesn't compromise the game quality. Building around on this resolution, and I noticed that it doesn't feel too different than playing on native because it really isn't that much of a stretch. Taking a quick look at my FPS, and you can see that we're getting around 390 to 400 FPS consistently, which gives us an insane 12.8% FPS increase. That's honestly insanely impressive, and I can definitely say I wasn't expecting the increase to be that dramatic for such a slight stretch. And just for some fun, I went into a 1v1 just to see how it feels, and I can't lie to you guys, this feels so much smoother, and I honestly prefer the look of this res to native. This res is nothing crazy, but if you're looking for a resolution that gives a pretty significant FPS boost and that doesn't compromise on game quality, maybe think about giving 1750 by 1080 a shot and seeing how you like it. The second resolution I'll be taking a look at is 1680 by 1050. The first thing I noticed was that you can definitely tell that this is a lot more stretched. However, it isn't too stretched though, and it's definitely playable. But then guys, the building, it was so smooth and creamy. The game felt absolutely fantastic, and even without checking the FPS boost on this res, it's already my favorite res by far. I just jumped into a 1v1 to see if the smoothness holds up, and oh man, this is a beautiful res. It looks super nice, and my game feels like a totally new game. So now it's time to check the FPS. On 1680 by 1050, I'm getting a consistent 425 to 430 FPS, which is a total FPS increase of 21.4% over native res. Not only does this res look really nice, but it also packs an insane FPS boost. So definitely try out 1680 by 1050 if you're on a low-end PC, because this is the res that's going to make your game feel amazing. The third and final res we'll be checking out is 1656 by 1080. This res doesn't look too different than the last res, and as with the other 2 resolutions we've checked out, it's definitely playable. Doing some building around in this res, and it feels really nice, still super smooth, and it's overall a great experience. I hopped into a 1v1 to test out this res, and just like the last 2 resolutions, it feels very smooth, and this is also a pretty nice res. Something that did confuse me though was when it came down to test the actual FPS. I'm not sure if it was my PC or what, but I actually only saw about 350 FPS on this resolution, and I saw about the exact same FPS on native. Again, this res could give you a crazy FPS boost, but it's going to be different for everyone, and in my case, for whatever reason, it didn't give me any additional FPS. I still do recommend trying this res out though, because it looks nice, and FPS results do vary from PC to PC, so who knows, this could be the res that gives you the most FPS, but of course the only way for you to find out is by testing it out for yourself. And now for my opinion on the best stretch resolution to use in Fortnite. In first place, I have to go with 1680 by 1050 by far. In my opinion, it looked the best, and during my tests, it gave me the biggest FPS boost with 21% more FPS. And the runner-up resolution is 1750 by 1080, because if you want a nice chill stretched resolution that doesn't look too stretched but also gives you a nice FPS boost, this is the resolution for you. And in last place, we have 1656 by 1080. Although I found it to look alright, the lack of an FPS boost killed this resolution off for me entirely. Again, there's a million different things that could have caused this resolution to not give me an FPS boost, and of course it could have just been a mistake on my end, but although I didn't get an FPS boost from this resolution, does not mean that you will not get an FPS boost. So if you like the look of 1656 by 1080, just give it a shot, because it might just give you the biggest FPS boost out of these 3 resolutions. Anyway guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed enjoyed today's video, and I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day, and I'll see you all in the next one.